Good day, everyone. Today, we will be presenting our lexical analyzer project, which is a key part of the compiler design. This tool scans source code and breaks it into tokens, making it easier for the compiler to understand and process the program. So, this is the demonstration of a lexical analyzer, which is the first phase of a compiler. It scans source code character by character and groups them into tokens like keywords, identifiers, operators, and literals. Using regular expressions and finite automata, it is able to recognize patterns and detect errors like invalid tokens or malformed inputs. So, this is the key features of our lexical project. Token recognition across multiple languages, like C, Java, and Python. Clear token output with type and value. Error detection with helpful messages. Support for multiple data types, comments, and white space handling. And extensible and modular design for easily add more token types or support for another language. So, this is the system requirements. The system is modular extensible and built in Python, requiring only Python 3.0 and the appropriate Lexer executable for each language. C Lexer.exe for analyzing C code, Java Lexer.exe for analyzing Java code, PyLexer.exe for analyzing Python code. It's lightweight, so it runs fine on basic hardware. Just a 1.6 GHz dual-core processor and 2 GB RAM is enough. For the walkthrough of the key codes, it will be discussed by Don De Lima.
Thank you, Lily. So as for the key code walkthrough, I'm the one to discuss it. So first things first, let me just share this. So this is the program structure of our program. So we have here three folders for each for specific language. So we have C, Java, and Python. Under here is all of the files we need. So we have the flex files, the executable, and then the compiled next files. Yeah. Okay. So let's go through them one by one. So here is the flex file of the C language. So we have here a function named print token. This one is just responsible for the formatting of uh, all of this for the output. So this one handles that. So it can be um, clean and then uh, easily distinguishable formatting of the actual label of the token and then the value of the token. This one's responsible for that. So these are the rules, lexical rules. So we have here for the preprocessor directive, for C, and then comments. All of the errors are also included. Data types, char, string, float, integer, error for invalid numbers, um, um, operators, all of the operators and delimiters. Also for keyword and then identifier. Um, this one is for the white spaces to be ignored, and this one is for unknown symbols. Now the logics is just the same for every language. It's the difference is that with their syntaxes. So others have for example, Java and C have a char data type, but Python doesn't. It's a string. So that's the flex files. Now let's go through the um, the main program. So this is the Lex Analyzer. This integrates all of those flex files. By the way, these flex files are compiled and then uh, have been made into an executable, which are this one, the exe files, one for each languages. And then all of these executables are integrated into this Python code. So which have here three functions. The clear is just, it just clears the terminal. So we have clean terminal. So this one is the main backend. This one is responsible for the analysis of the code, lexical analysis. So we have three arguments: the source code. This one is either manual or file. The lexer, depending on the language the user chooses, and then the output file name, which is output.txt. And then it gets the input code. If there's no input code, it will make the input, manual input, as an input code or input.txt, and then just read that. Then the output will be updated by here. And then if there is no, if the lexer, these lexers are not available, it will just flag it. So lexer executable not found, please build your lexer. Or if the lexer has encountered an error, it will just print the error but not break the actual program. Now this one is responsible for the formatting on the output.txt, and then output saved to what file name. Now this is the main function, the main program responsible for the actual flow, and also the error handling was also included in here. So we have here the first stage, phase 1, selecting a language, and then if they select a language, the program will pitch the location of those exe files, executables, and then with the input, the next after the selecting language is the mode. We have two input modes here, manual and file. So they can either choose to input the code manually or have it through the file location. Now if they want to go back, so they can just enter choice 0, which is to go back. So if the code is 1, which this means one manual, so they will enter the code or paste it, and then to end the input, they will just need to control Z and then enter. Now if they want to mode of file, they'll just enter the file name, file location, and then if they change their mind, they want to exit, just press X. If they did, if the input was empty, it will handle it, it will catch it, no file input provided. If the file name was not located or doesn't exist, it will flag it as error and move on the it will just repeat the input mode, and then it will, after finding the appropriate inputs, so let's say we have a correct input, so it will analyze it and then output the output.txt. Then after you do the analysis, it will prompt the user if they want to use again. So if they say yes, we will go back from the start, and then they can choose another language. If they say no, it will just end the program entirely. With this message. So thank you for using this multi-language lexical analyzer. And then this is the driver function just to uh, make the program run. So this is the uh, key code walkthrough. Now, as for the actual project demonstration, it will be handled by Miss Kyla Belan.
Okay, so thank you, Don. Now I'll be demonstrating how our application works. So upon execution, the users will be asked to choose a language. So our program have three different language to choose. We have one for C, number two for Java, and three for Python. The first one to be demonstrated is the C language, which is the option 1. Now, after choosing a language, we can now choose an input mode, but aside from that, we also have the first option, which is the 0, to go back and choose another language. So now, we're going to try the choice number 1, which is the manual input, wherein we're going to manually type or paste our code in the program. So after providing the code that will be analyzed by the program, we have to click Ctrl Z and then enter to proceed on analyzation of the program. So once it is done, a different output.txt file will be generated inside this file. We can see the result of the analyzed code. So here, the input source code was provided, as well as the lexical tokenization output, which have the tokens, and that are includes identifier, keywords, and they are organized on a column for the users to clearly understand and see the analyzed token. So next, we can choose another language for for file input this time. So we also have the option if we want to analyze again a program, so the users do not have to execute again. So now let's choose Java language. Then now file execution, which is the option 2. So in this option, we just have to provide the file path and then the file name of the program we want to be analyzed. And then similar to the manual input, there is also a generated input.txt file that will be provided. Will be generated. So here we already have the output.txt file containing the lexical output with the same format as the manual output earlier. Okay, so that is how our program works. But how about the handling errors? So let's try to analyze a language again. So this time, a Python language. So how will the program handle a wrong choice? Let's say, for example, we choose an option 3, which is not included to the options. So the program will simply display an error message indicating that the users input an invalid choice. So we can try again and input a file, and then how about if the user accidentally hit enter without providing an existing file? So, same, the program will display a message indicating what error the users did. Then for again file input, and then let's say we provide a file path and file name that do not actually exist on our device. So an error message will also appear on our program, indicating that there is no the file we entered do not exist. So let's go back to the main program. Okay, so another case scenario. What if a user input a file or a code that has an error? So let's try the Python language, and then manually input a code with an invalid syntax. Okay, so on our output, we can see that the result shows an error on the line wherein there is hello on our on the code, as well as the invalid number, and then unterminated string. So this program doesn't just identify the lexical and tokens of the code, as well as the errors on our on the entered program. So does it work the same when it comes to file input? So let's try analyzing an invalid code using Python again, but this time a file input. So the entered file contains the same code as the previously entered one. So in this case, I think we can't demonstrate it clearly. So we're going to choose another language for file input. So let's choose Java. This is choice number 2. And then for input mode, file. So now we have the file java_error.txt, and then generated a output.txt format, .txt for the results. So here, let's look for the identified error of the program. So here we have invalid float, which is the 12.3.4, as well as the unclosed, I guess, character, which is instead of another single quote, it is closed with a semicolon. Again, invalid float, and then illegal symbol, which is an at. So last one is the unclosed string for the word test. So that is the result of the code with several invalid syntax. So that sums up how our program works and its demonstration. So thank you.